Yo, what's up guys, it's Gray here. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about why your net worth skyrockets after 100K. So if anyone on this platform, if you're ever looking to get into the finance YouTube space, you have to make this a video. It's just mandatory. And so I don't want to add necessarily too much into videos that have already been talked about. I want to keep finding new things to talk about, but I don't think this can get talked about enough. And that's why I want to make this video, is because I want my audience to know that 100K should be your first goal. Now, well, technically 10K should be your first goal, but then 100K can be what you're pushing for, because realistically, your net worth absolutely skyrockets after 100K, and it's something that is actually plausible for us to achieve. And I want to talk about why that is. Why is 100K the big number that everyone needs to hit? And so when I say 100K, I mean a $100,000 net worth or $100,000 invested. Because your net worth, when you hit that six-figure mark, skyrockets very, very quickly. So mathematically, if you spend 3 years getting to that 100K, in 7 years, it will be 200K just based off its own merit. That assumes that you're not, consistently adding to it, which would actually increase its ability to grow. But realistically, if you can get to 100K incredibly fast, and when I say fast, I mean theoretically, it is possible to hit 100K in about 3 to 5 years with consistent discipline and growth in both the investments that you're choosing and the stocks that you're choosing, and also just consistently investing and saving over time. So I want to give a few math examples. And again, like the other video, I'm going to put a lot of the math on the side of the screen here for you. But so let's say an example showing $100,000 investment and how it can grow with compound interest, meaning every single year, and it's consistently growing on itself. So if you have 100,000K and it grows by 10% in a year, the next year it's not growing 100,000, it's growing 110,000 by 10% that next year. So let's see, investing 100K, a 7% annual return for 10 years can grow to approximately 200K. So an example, you have an annual rate of 7%, an investment period of 35 years, and you start with 100K. After 35 years, with the conservative number of 7%, it'll grow to approximately 687,000 in 35 years. So roughly that's growing a $587,000 of just returns after 35 years with a very conservative number of 7%, where most portfolios typically are in the 8, 9, and 10% range. So what does this mean for us? Well, on this channel, the majority of the people that watch my content are under the age of 30. I would presume that's because I'm under the age of 30. But regardless, if you can spend your early years getting to that $100,000 net worth as quickly as possible, regardless of your income, it should be possible in 10 years. Finding margin within your budget, saving and investing the difference, maxing out as many accounts as you can. Maybe that means you get a side hustle and all the money from the side hustle goes towards building your financial future, savings, things like that. There are ways that we can get there. The first one is building a healthy emergency fund. So actually having cushion between you and oblivion actually allows you the freedom to invest and build your $100,000 net worth. And so mathematically, if you break it down, it is possible to hit 100K net worth in 3 years on the low end. It is very difficult to hit that within, the first 1 year or 2 years, but 3 years on a moderate income, you can hit a $100,000 net worth. Let's take a household, for example. If you're making 60K per year and half of that is going towards needs, that leaves about 30K left over. And so then if you take that 30K and you're investing and saving it, you say the first year you save 15,000 as an emergency fund and the rest goes towards investing. And then the next year you don't really need to save. You can just invest all of it. Now you're at $45,000 invested. That third year, now you're at $75,000 invested. But you also had compound growth over that time. So if you're making interest, you still have that other 15, where that puts you at 90. And then you have all that compound interest over those 3 years that'll probably push you into the $100,000 range. So I will say, with $100,000 of investments, you're actually going to be sitting with, there is a connotation when people start talking about money that there's a few. You need money to make money, which I've talked about on this channel before. I don't necessarily agree with. But the rich get richer, and that I do agree with. The rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. But not because the rich are necessarily taking from the poor, but because the rich are going to continue to get richer, because when you have money, you just understand the fundamentals, it will continue to create wealth. So I feel like the poor can become the richer by implementing what the richer is doing. And what is the richer doing? They're investing their money. They're living below their means. They have an emergency fund. They have cash on hand to handle the little day expenses, so they don't have to pull out of their long-term investing. And they're consistently adding to their portfolio. And just those points alone, if you yourself add to that and you do those things in your own budget, in your own financial life, your ability to hit the net worth of 100K skyrockets. If you don't do anything, as I said, for 35 years, you should hit, on the very conservative side, you should hit about $680,000. But obviously, if you have the discipline to save up to $100,000, you probably still have that discipline and that behavior modification to apply that, to consistently do that over the next 35 years. And so I'm not saying you have to be that extreme all the days of your life, but being that extreme for a short period of time relative to the span of your life and what you'll probably live to be. If you can hit that 100K, depending on what your age, let's say you're 18 and you're watching this right now, if you could theoretically hit 100K by 21, you can then cut everything back, start living a moderate life through your 20s. And at 21, you will have a higher net worth than almost anyone in the average of anyone in their 20s at 21. That builds such a foundation where it is almost guaranteed you will retire safely. And having that guarantee, that safety, adds something to your soul. And then with that, with 100K net worth, there are some benefits. So if you're adding, let's say, to a Roth IRA, you're building up your retirement. If you're adding to your 401K, you're building up, yes, retirement, but you can also take it out if you ever have any medical needs, or if you're buying a house. That's a big one that people take it out for. Or let's say you're just buying a basic mutual, let's say you're just buying the S&P 500. Well, as that grows over time, should big life purchases come up, maybe you want to buy a small business, maybe you want to start your own business, maybe you want to, buy a house for you and your family, maybe you want to send your kids to college, you have all these options that have grown kind of in the sidelines. Now your finances are growing where when those big things come up in your life, you're not having to borrow or take out loans or get student loans or put it on credit cards. You actually have the cash because you were disciplined before. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching today's episode. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. And hey, let me know your plan in the comments down below on how you're going to hit your 100K net worth. And if you really want to share what your net worth is right now, and then maybe over the years we can look back at these videos and see what our net worth was and how life has gone. I really love seeing that across different YouTube videos. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Adios.